Do you remember the first time you picked up clippers and put them against a real person's head? Not a mannequin, not your own hairline in the mirror, a real person sitting in front of you, trusting you to make them look good. Your hand was probably shaking. You probably had a YouTube tutorial fresh in your memory, thinking you could replicate what you watched. And then the clippers touched hair and you immediately realized something nobody warned you about. Watching a cut and doing a cut are two completely different experiences. The hair didn't respond the way it did in the video. The head shape wasn't the same. The fade didn't blend where you expected it to. And the whole time, the person in that chair was waiting for you to know what you were doing, when the truth is, you were figuring it out in real time, praying they couldn't tell. That moment humbles every barber who's ever been through it. And what happens after that moment, whether you push through or give up, defines the kind of barber you become. I'm making this video because nobody made it for me. Everything I'm about to tell you is what I learned through years of trial and error, bad cuts, uncomfortable conversations, and slowly building the skills I wish someone had handed me on day one. This is the guide I needed when I was starting out. If you're in your first year of cutting hair, this is going to save you a lot of pain, because barbering isn't just about clippers and fades. It's about someone sitting in your chair and trusting you with how they show up to the world. That's weight, and you need to be ready for it. Lesson 1, read the hair before you touch the clippers. Before your clippers turn on, before you even think about guard numbers or fade lines, you should already know what you're working with. Spend the first 60 seconds of every cut running your hands over the client's head. Feel where the hair is thick and where it thins out. Identify the growth direction. Does it push forward at the temples? Does it swirl at the crown? Are there cowlicks that are going to fight the shape you're trying to cut? Most beginners skip this entirely because they're eager to start cutting and show they know what they're doing. But the barbers who produce consistently clean cuts on every head shape and texture are the ones who assess before they act. This assessment informs everything that comes after: your guard selection, your blend approach, and where you'll need to spend extra time. A dense crown means more clipper passes to get an even result. A cowlick at the back means adjusting your angle to work with it instead of against it. Forward growth at the temples means your lineup needs to account for how the hair will lay after it dries. Every head tells you how to cut it, but only if you take 60 seconds to listen before you start. This is the difference between a barber who adapts to every client and a barber who uses the same approach on every head and wonders why the results are inconsistent. Lesson 2, your clipper guides are not your safety net. Now that you know how to read the head, let's talk about what happens when you pick up the clippers, because this is where most beginners go wrong before the first pass is even finished. The mistake is treating guard numbers like a recipe. 2 on the sides, 3 on top, blend in the middle. And on certain heads, that formula works fine. But the moment you get a client with thick, coarse hair and you slap a number 2 guard on, you realize the result looks nothing like the last cut you did with the same guard. That's because guards don't account for hair texture, density, or how the hair sits on that specific head shape. A number 2 on fine straight hair is a completely different visual length than a number 2 on dense, coily hair. The guard cuts to the same lesson. 3, the fade is about blending, not numbers. Once you stop relying on guards as a formula, the next wall you hit is the fade itself, because everything you think you know about fades is probably backwards. Here's what tutorials get wrong. They show you the guard sequence. Start here, switch again here, and they make it look like the fade happens automatically between guard changes. It doesn't. The fade happens in the blend zone, that quarter-inch area where one length transitions into the next. And the blend zone is entirely dependent on your wrist, your angle, and your patience. When a beginner rushes through guard changes, they get lines, visible, harsh lines, where one length stops and the next starts. That's not a fade, that's layered. A fade is invisible transition, and that invisibility is created by how you work the space between guards, not by which guards you use. The technique that changed everything for me was the flick, a slight upward wrist motion at the end of each pass that tapers the cut instead of cutting it blunt. Practice this motion on every head. Go slow in the blend zone, slower than you think is necessary. Speed comes with hundreds of cuts. Right now, your only job is making the transition invisible. If you can feel where one length stops and another starts when you run your hand over it, the blend isn't done yet. Lesson 4, the lineup is where trust is built or broken. You can do a perfect fade and still lose the client with a bad lineup. The lineup is the first thing they check when you spin them toward the mirror. It's the frame around the cut. And for black men especially, the lineup is identity. It defines the shape of the face, the sharpness of the look, and the overall impression of the haircut. A crooked line, a pushed back hairline, or an unnatural shape will overshadow everything else you did right. Here's what beginners get wrong. They press too hard trying to get a crisp edge. The crispness tightness comes from the blade, not from pressure. When you push the trimmer into the skin, you're creating micro damage to the follicles at the hairline, and you're cutting below where the natural hairline sits. Do that every 2 weeks for a year, and you permanently push that client's hairline back. Light touch, steady hand. Follow the natural hairline shape unless the client specifically asks you to reshape it, and something I started doing after every lineup that my clients noticed immediately. I apply a small amount of lightweight oil to the freshly exposed hairline right after the cut. I personally use Ocean View's Juice Boost because it soothes the area without clogging the follicles that are most vulnerable right after a lineup. It takes 5 seconds, and it shows the client you're thinking about their hair health beyond just the shape. That kind of detail is what turns a first visit into a regular. If you're a beginner barber and this is already filling in gaps nobody else explained, subscribe. The last lesson coming up is the one that actually builds your career. Stay with me. Lesson 5, client communication is your most important skill. This is the lesson that separates barbers who build a clientele from barbers who stay stuck at walk-ins. Your technical skill gets someone in the chair. Your communication is what brings them back. When a new client sits down, don't just ask, "What do you want?" That question puts all the pressure on them, and most people don't have the vocabulary to describe what they're picturing. Instead, ask what they liked about their last cut and what they didn't like. Ask if there are areas they want to keep versus areas they want changed. Pull up a reference photo if they have one. These questions do 2 things. They give you a clearer picture of the goal, and they make the client feel heard before the cut even starts. And here's the harder part. What do you do when something goes slightly wrong mid-cut? Because it will. A line slips, a blend comes out uneven, a guard catches and takes more than you intended. Beginners panic and try to fix it without acknowledging it, which usually makes it worse. The better move is honesty. I'm going to adjust this area, said with confidence, is better than silently scrambling and hoping the client doesn't notice. More, not less. That's how you build a chair that stays full. 5 lessons. Read the hair before you cut it. Guards are tools, not formulas. The fade lives in the blend zone. The lineup is where trust is won or lost. And communicate like the professional you're becoming. But here's the lesson underneath all 5 of them. The one I wish someone had told me before I ever picked up clippers. Every person who sits in your chair is handing you something personal. Their haircut walks into every room before they do. It shows up in every photo. It's the first thing they see every morning. When you understand that weight, when you feel it every time someone sits down and trusts you, that's when you stop being a person who cuts hair and start being a barber. The nerves from that first cut never fully go away. They just drop a comment right now. What's the hardest lesson you've learned since you started cutting hair? If you're brand new, tell me what you're struggling with most and I'll point you in the right direction. If you know someone who just picked up clippers and is trying to figure this out on their own, send them this video. This is the guide that skips the painful trial and error phase. Subscribe if you haven't. I put out real content every week for barbers and for the people sitting in their chairs. I'll catch you in the next one.